Hello there everybody, my name is Idris. I hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'm going to show you around my special place of worship which you can see behind me. Have you guessed what it's called yet? Yes, you're right, it's called a mosque. And for 1.6 billion Muslims around the world, the mosque is their special place of worship. And do you know that in every mosque there is at least one person? It's his job, it's his responsibility to make sure that the doors are open on time, to make sure that the building is clean, and to lead the worship when the time for worship comes. Do you know what that person is called? He would be called a priest in a church or a rabbi in a synagogue. And in the mosque, he's called the Imam. And I am the Imam of the Worthing Mosque. And I have been the Imam of the Worthing Mosque now for the last 14 years. And today is going to be a pleasure for me to show you around my special place of worship. So come on, follow me. So before we go inside, I would just like to show you what our mosque looks like from the outside. And it's important to remember that there are two types of mosques. One is a purpose-built mosque, which is when a mosque is built from absolutely nothing, from the ground on upwards. And these type of mosques are likely to have a dome and a minaret as well, as you see many mosques have around the world. But sadly, our mosque here in Worthing is not a purpose-built mosque. These used to be some offices before, and we bought this building about 20 years ago. And since then, we have converted it into a mosque and we use it for our worship. The other thing I would like to point out is the sign. It says there, Worthing Islamic Social and Welfare Society. That is the name of our community, the Muslim community in Worthing. The name of our mosque is actually Masjid As-Salam. Masjid means mosque and As-Salam means of peace. So this is called the Mosque of Peace, and we hope that this will be a means of peace not only for the Muslim community but for the wider community in Worthing, as well as all of the peoples who live in the United Kingdom. Come on, let's go inside and have a look. So I'm just about to enter the mosque now, and I'm going to show you what it looks like from the inside. So usually, whenever you enter the mosque, the first area, the entrance area, will look something like this. And what are these? These are shoe racks. Because when Muslims enter the mosque, they take their shoes off and they place them on the racks, and then they enter the mosque so they don't dirty the carpets. Now, because of COVID at the moment, you can see that we have these yellow and black strips covering partially the shoe racks. This is just to show that at the moment, because of COVID, we don't want people taking their shoes off and putting them on the racks. Instead, what people do is they bring a bag with them and they place their shoes inside the bag and they take it with them inside the mosque, and then they leave from a separate entrance to try and ensure that social distancing is always taking place. And also, you will see over here that we have some face masks, we have hand sanitizer, we have also tissue paper as well. And our mosque is taking the COVID-19 guidelines very seriously. So we encourage all our visitors at the moment to sanitize their hands. If they haven't got a face mask with them, to put a face mask on, and thereafter to go inside, always maintaining social distancing while they are offering their worship. Thank you. The next area I'm going to show you is an area which you again find in almost every single mosque. And it's called the ablution area. Because when Muslims offer their worship, there are 4 parts of their body that they have to wash. Now, what are the 4 parts of the body that they have to wash? It's their face, their arms, they apply wet hands to the top of their hair, and they also wash their feet. And this is the area where they would be doing that. So whenever somebody comes into the mosque, if they haven't made the ablution from home, they would sit on one of these stools, they would turn on the taps, and thereafter they would start making the ablution. And the reason why we have stools and taps rather than 5 sinks over here, can anybody think why that may be? Yes, you're right. Is to make it easier to wash the feet. If I had to raise my foot every single time and put it in the sink to wash it, it would be very, very difficult for me to do. And then we have some members of our community who are quite elderly. Some of them might be quite sick as well at times. So it would be difficult for them to make their ablution inside the sink. So we have these stools and these taps. So when they come, they can quickly wash the other parts of the body, finally wash their feet, and thereafter they are ready to go into the main prayer hall to offer their worship. And would you like to go and see the prayer hall now? Yes, follow me and I will show you the prayer hall. I am just about to enter the most special area, the most special room inside the mosque. And this is the prayer hall. This is where all the worship takes place. And every mosque would have a prayer hall. It might be different in size. Some prayer halls can accommodate tens of thousands of people. Our prayer hall here in our mosque can accommodate maybe around 250 to 300 people. But there are certain features that you will find in every mosque, and I would just like to show you those today. First of all, if you concentrate on the carpet, you will find that there are lines on the carpet, and all the lines are pointing towards a certain direction. Do you know why that is? And do you know which direction it is pointing? Yes, it's facing towards Mecca. Mecca is a city in Saudi Arabia, and it's the most virtuous and most special place for Muslims in the world. And whenever Muslims offer their worship, they are commanded in the Quran by God to face towards the direction of Mecca. So that's why in the mosque you will see lines on the carpet, and they will show the direction which a Muslim has to face to offer their worship. Also, if you look at the walls, what word would you use to describe the walls? I would use the word plain, because one big difference between the church and the mosque is we never have any images inside the mosque. We don't draw images of God. We don't draw images of the prophets of God, the messengers of God, because we believe that this is something that only God knows what he looks like, and it is beyond our understanding and our imagination to ever understand what God looks like. So we don't have any pictures or any drawings or any stained glass or anything like that inside the mosque. What we sometimes do have, if I can show you here, is writing from the Quran. So you might find, for example, writing from the Quran inside the mosque, but besides that, there will not be any pictures and there will not be any drawings inside the mosque. Now, most mosques will have a screen similar to that. Can you think what this screen might be and what the information is on the screen? So, as I'm sure you are aware, Muslims offer their worship 5 times a day. But there are certain times in which Muslims offer their worship. They can't just offer it all 5 in the morning before they go to school or before they go to work. They can't offer all 5 in the evening after they've come back from school, after they've come back from work. But there are certain times of the day, depending on how short or long the days are, in which the prayers have to be offered. And this screen that you see over here, which you would find something similar to like that in every single mosque, gives the information of the times of prayer. So our next prayer today is at 1:05 in the afternoon. Then we've got one at 6:15. Then we've got one at 8 or 9. And also finally, we have one at 9:45 this evening as well. And our first worship of the day this morning was, as you can see, 4:30 in the morning. So around 30 worshippers came this morning at 4:30, and we offered the worship together. And the worship takes around 10 to 15 minutes. So we completed that, and we offer that every single day, 365 days a year. So we did that at 4:30 in the morning, and then everybody went home. And at 1:30, members of our community will be returning again to offer the second worship of the day. Something else you find in the mosque are lots of books, similar to the books that you see behind me. Do you know what these books are called? Yes, you're right. They are called the Quran. And just like the Bible is a very special book for the Christian community, and the Old Testament, the Torah, is a very special book for the Jewish community, for Muslims around the world, their special book is called the Quran. Do you know what language the Quran is in? Yes, it's in Arabic. And Muslims around the world learn Arabic so they can literally read what they believe is the word of Allah, the word of God. Now what I'm going to do is just going to read a little bit of Quran for you to give you some understanding of what it sounds like when somebody reads the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. I hope you enjoyed that recitation. So Muslims try to read the Quran as much as possible, and they try to recite it in the best possible voice that they can. So if somebody comes for worship and there's some time left before the worship is going to start, or they want to stay behind after the worship, one of the things they are likely to do while they are in the mosque, not offering the 5 daily prayers, is to pick up a copy of the Quran, to read the Quran, and then to ponder and reflect on its meaning. Behind me is also another important feature of the mosque. It is called a mimbar. And this is where the Imam stands to deliver his Friday sermon. So you know, in the church, there is a special day of worship in the week, and that special day of worship is on Sunday. In the synagogue, their special day is the Sabbath, it's a Saturday. And for Muslims around the world, their special day of the week, where they will try their utmost to go to the mosque, is on Friday. And on the Friday, as well as offering the worship, the Imam would also deliver a sermon. In this mosque, the sermon is in Arabic and in English, and I would climb onto this pulpit and this mimbar behind me, and I would deliver my sermon from there every single Friday. Hello there again. Now we are upstairs in the mosque now, and as you can see, there is a hall here similar to the hall downstairs, and when there's not enough space downstairs, people come upstairs to offer their worship. And here we also have carpets facing towards Mecca, but as you can probably notice, the carpets here are of a different color. They are blue here, as they were red downstairs. So I'm just gonna show you a brief demonstration now of how Muslims offer their worship. And I'm just gonna show you that when Muslims offer their worship, they have four main positions when they offer their worship. The way Muslims start offering their worship is they face towards Mecca. They've already washed certain parts of the body, as I explained before, and they are now in the frame of mind to start offering their worship. And the way that they start is they say Allahu Akbar, they raise their hands to their ears, and then they fold their hands just below their chest. Once Muslims say Allahu Akbar, they now believe that they are in direct communication with God. So they won't kind of be looking around, they won't just start talking to somebody, but they look down and they fully focus on the being of God, and they will start offering their worship by, first of all, while standing up, reciting certain verses from the Quran, as I showed you downstairs. So this is the first position, standing up. Once they have recited certain verses of the Quran in this position, then they will move on to the second position, which is bowing down. So they will bow down like this, again to worship God, always keeping God and Allah in their mind. Allah is the name that Muslims give to God, and they will spend a few seconds in this position glorifying the praises of God. Then after standing up again, the third main position that Muslims have in their worship is when they prostrate on the floor. This is the most important position. This is when Muslims believe they are closest to God. This is when Muslims put their nose, their forehead, their hands, their knees and their toes on the ground to fully submit themselves in the worship of God. So they would say, Allahu Akbar. Again, they will spend a few seconds in that position, glorifying the praises of God, and they would do that twice. They would do it once as I did, then they would sit up like this, and then they would do the second prostration, which is what we call the sajda in Arabic. So that is the third position, and the fourth position is sitting down like this. So they would sit down like this. Again, there are certain supplications and prayers that they have to make while they are in this position. And the way that Muslims finish their prayers is by saying Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah to the right, and then Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah to the left. And I'm sure many of you have heard that phrase Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah before. This is the way that Muslims greet one another. The way other people would greet one another by maybe saying hello or good morning. When Muslims greet one another, they say Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah. And the reason why we do this at the end of our prayers is just to kind of show that for a few minutes there, while we were offering our worship, we had completely left kind of this existence and we were in the presence of God and we were worshipping God. And now that we've finished our prayers, we've come back again and we say peace be upon you to the people on our right, and also peace be upon you to the people on our left, because that is what Assalamu Alaykum wa rahmatullah means. It means peace be upon you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that short demonstration and it's beneficial for you, and hopefully soon you will be able to come back in the mosque one day once all this pandemic is over, and I can give you a personal and in-person demonstration of how we offer the worship, and also an in-person and personal demonstration of how the mosque looks and what the mosque looks like, and also how we worship in the mosque as well. Thank you very much.